Surely you are aware of the role played by mind maps to consolidate your knowledge about a particular topic. Here is a mind map we're gonna explain in details to make you grasp the main points constituting the fundamentals of the listening skills. Listening is an often trivialized yet highly important skill for effective communication. Unfortunately, most people ignore this reality. As a matter of fact, listening is not a mere act of hearing and replying in a robotic way. You're not going to listen and the other person talks in an automatic way. On the other hand, listening is a process whereby you give your undivided attention to the person to whom you are listening. Sometimes you listen a little more, sometimes you plan your response, or you wait for a pause to take their turn. Most of the time, unsuccessful listening happens when you find difficulty to get the essence of any spoken communicative exchange for many reasons. You may not listen because you either come with preconceived ideas, you are judgmental, for example, or biased. Sometimes you are tuned out. Remember the do's and the don'ts to practice effective listening. So listening is so important because better listening is probably the best way to connect with other people and build relationships. This is rather active listening. Probably you have not experienced active listening yet. Active listening is the opposite of passive listening. As an active listener, you have to be mentally and physically engaged with what others are saying. But before doing this well, you have to bear in mind these few things. First, you have to show your commitment. You have to put aside whatever might be distracting. Simply, you cannot listen and accomplish multitask at the same time. Active listening takes a lot of time and energy. You have to work on it. Active listening is not as difficult as it appears. You have just to practice the tips that you have seen along our listening courses. Active listening requires non-verbal clues to be practiced as well. You have to avoid all types of distractions. You make eye contact but not staring. Your body posture should be open and directed towards the other person. Lean towards the speaker but not too close. Second, active listening involves appropriate verbal communication. The most important element here is asking the right questions at the right moment. Probably the most common patterns that you can make use of are paraphrasing, summarizing, clarifying, probing, and reflecting back. You might say something like, "You're saying that?" as a paraphrase of what you've been listening to. Also, you might say something like, "So the overall situation is," to sum up, and so on. When engaged in a conversation, show that you are actively following along and interested in what is being said. Refer to back channels from time to time, use follow-up questions, reflection, and avoid jumping up to conclusions. And now try to conjure up what I'm saying to you, the mind map, in order to reinforce your listening skills.